Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by thanking you for being part of this jury. I know when you get called for jury duty, you kind of get a little scared, like, oh, this is going to be a hassle, but a little bit excited, like maybe this is going to be some amazing, exciting case. And usually it's somewhere in the middle if you get called for a case. Luckily, we thought this was going to be longer, and look at us, a week later, we are doing our summations. So there's been no harming of trips to Florida or Boston by this trial, so that's a positive note, right? I want to start today by going over our role as the defense counsel. My father, who you've seen up until now speak and do his the cross-examinations, he always told me that being a defense attorney is like being a goalie in hockey. If you're on a really good team, right, your job is easy and, quite frankly, kind of boring. But it's easy. You're just gonna stand there, and all the action happens up there where all of the players are, and there's not much to defend over here at the goal post, because that's our job. We defend, and what we have here in this case, in this instance, is a lot of nothing to defend, really. The burden of proof is entirely on them. So the burden of proof, if it's decent, if it's closer to us, then I have my guard out as the goalie, as I have a guard out, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the action. I'm ready to have them throw out a fact at me and have me chop it in half. But that is not this case. That is not this case. This case, we don't really have anything to defend. Really, there's nothing. There's not anything that I have to break down, and I have to. You saw how short our cross-examinations were, and that's because there's just not much to say about it. There are two big looming questions, right? We have what we do have, and what the DA has painstakingly struggled to assure everyone of its validity, is that two cars went into the Chase parking lot, and then two cars left. That's pretty much it. And we believe them. And I'm not denying them. I don't think anybody's denying them. I mean, anybody in this room is like, yeah, no, that's not true. We know, we get it. We didn't really need 6 hours of testimony for that factoid, but we got it, and hey, we're on board. The question marks, though, are, number one, why is there like some missing information in there? And number two, what is that information? Does anybody know? So those are two big important points, and I think that the purpose of everyone in this room is to come up with some sort of reasonable theory that the facts point to, and that we can kind of get on board with because it's logical. And that's where we stand now. I mean, we are logic. We're people. People are inherently, they want logic. Like, our brains look for everything to just kind of make sense. I know a lot of you are accountants. I remember from voir dire, a lot of you are accountants. I think all of you are professionals, or retired professionals, and school teachers and ministers. We all want logic. We all want something that makes sense to us, right? Not just intent, not just motive. We want true, honest. Yeah, I can see that happening. And that's what we're trying to get at here with this situation. We've got this gap in time. It's not not a long gap, but it's a gap in time where like there's allegedly some extremely exciting things have occurred. And you know, now we are of the generation now where show me the video of that, right? Like that's the generation we are now. Now, I mean, I grew up, a lot of us grew up at a time where it wasn't like that. A time where you could do as many stupid things as you wanted because there were no cameras. You know, there might be a rumor about something, but nobody had cameras around, right? There's just there's stories about bonfires at the beach and you know, and parties at parents' beach cottages, but there's no video of it. Now it's completely different. I know someone from the younger generation. I was telling them that I got tickets, fourth row tickets to Bruce Springsteen on Broadway, and they said to me, show me a picture, it didn't happen. They literally said this to me. Like, show me a picture, it didn't happen. Because that's what we are now. That's our world now. If something exciting happens, there's a camera. There's many cameras. There's really, for every person, there is a camera. It's out and it is tracking whatever might be exciting so that we can put it on TikTok. Right? This is even more true when we have something that we know should have a camera, when we know. And there are places in our culture where we are aware that there is a camera watching us. When we walk down the street and that person's doorbell says, hey, you're on camera, and we're like, okay, I get it, you're watching me walk by your house, gotcha. We know that, right? We know that there are cameras at airports, right? And we know because there are big signs that say you're on camera by the ATMs, as there should be. Those things are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm 5'3". I'm not going to go up there and feel safe unless there's a camera. The one thing we know about people that go near those ATMs is they're dealing with money. We want those cameras. We like those cameras. Even those people that are like Big Brother are watching, they're like, okay, Big Brother, go watch me at the ATM machine. Make sure no one takes my money. We know there's a camera. So what we're dealing with here is a gap in a story that shouldn't be a gap. Like, it shouldn't be a gap. There's cameras that we know there are cameras, and we depend on those specific cameras. And not only that, there's people around. Where there's people, there are cameras. And yet there are none. So we're going to have to discover why it is that there is no video footage, why there is a gap in this story. And then, as I said, we're going to have to figure out what the gap was. What we have, lots of testimony. That's pretty much it. We have a medical report from the following day. Okay. We have, we have various evidence. So what we need to do is we need to find a logical story, a logical narrative that all of that fits into. Because I'm not finding the story that is being presented as all that logical. It just doesn't make that much sense to me. Right? Like, and I'll go over it in detail, but it just doesn't make much sense to me that they would go in and the two cars would come in